Who was the sheriff at that time? Was it Rice or Coates?
I believe it was Rice.
Sheriff Rice? Okay.
But I had gone to the sheriff's department after I went to Stephen Spratt. In fact, they requested me to come in.
You went to the internal affairs?
Well, it was supposed to be an investigation, yes. And I took a witness with me after what these two sheriffs had told me to be careful. And they seemed real interested. Oh, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We will prosecute. We do things by the law. And it wasn't even halfway through this meeting I realized it was a farce. They were setting it up to appease me, to get me to relax and not go farther with the proof I had, thinking that something was going to be done.
Right.
Nothing was ever done.
Exactly.
They were told to do this.
Do you recall the officers' names?
No, I don't.
If I was to mention a few names, would you know? Would that help?
No, it's been years ago.
Okay.
And I may recognize them if I saw them in person. But hopefully all this is in record somewhere.
Now, you say years ago. How many years?
Let me see. All this happened right after the commissioner, Karen Seals, got her commissionership.
Is she still a commissioner?
Yes, she is. Now, I had a VIP pass to the Clearwater Jazz Festival after all this had started. I was sitting down front because I had connections, as some people do. I'd worked and met a lot of people, including law enforcement, with my tenureship with the county. And through a friend, I had a VIP pass for the Jazz Festival. Well, all the big shots get the VIP passes too, and she was there. And I met with her that night, and she didn't want to talk to me. And I said, look, you know, I would like to get something done about this. We need to talk. And I didn't threaten her in any way. I just wanted to let her know that, look, you know, I want something done. And I didn't go into great detail. But she told me she'd be glad to meet with me in her office the next week. And curtailed the conversation. Then I walked away and enjoyed the concert with my friends. I was never able to gain an audience with her after that. And in fact, I think that alarmed them to the point that, yes, I was going to push this and get something done. And I think that allowed them to close ranks. Instead of Stephen Spratt getting to the bottom of this corruption that I made obvious to him, this commissioner, for doing, I had to come to the realization that he was a part of it. He knew what they were doing. He came to the county as administrator and jumped right on top of the pile.
Who was the mayor then at that time? Do you recall?
Mayor of Clearwater.
Yeah.
The name Angst comes to mind, but I don't know if he was mayor or not. I really didn't have a lot to do with Clearwater because I worked for Pinellas County. So I didn't meet that many Clearwater employees. But over this almost 17 years I was with the county, of course I met thousands up there, 3,000 some employees.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me, has known me, knows I'm articulate, I'm intelligent, and I'm honest. And my honesty
has gotten you in trouble.
Has caused me a great deal of duress, has cost me a good career. I am now a registered land surveyor. I would like to continue being registered land surveyor. I seem to have a problem securing employment as a registered land surveyor. I know state laws enough to know that, and because I worked for the county all those years, I have to put that down on a job and use them for a reference when I apply for a job. And on the application, they can call Pinellas County, and I know they're supposed to say no more than would you hire or rehire him. They're not supposed to say anything detrimental to my character. And for some reason, I have not been able to secure a job as a registered land surveyor in this area. And it seems a little more than a coincidence to me, with my experience and knowledge, that it would be that hard for me to secure employment unless somebody at the other end who takes those calls to Pinellas County, one of my former employers, is saying things about me that legally should not be said and honestly should not be said because they're not true.
James, let me ask you this. Is there anything else that you can share with us that has happened in the line of these fraudulent deals for money? Is there anything else that you can think of? That just comes to mind. I know I just met you no more than an hour ago, and I'm out in front of the courthouse trying to expose internal corruption going on here with the laundering of children for federal grant money. And then you start sharing with your experience of what's happened to you. I mean, I've lost more than a job. I've lost my 5 kids based upon lies, falsifying of documentation, and all this is being done for federal grant money. And and so I'm in something that I'm not, something that I cannot get out of. I mean, they're not going to be able to fire me, and I'm not going to go anywhere until I have my kids. I mean, I'm willing to leave the state of Florida, but we're not leaving without our children. And so what I'm just asking, Jim, if you can share with us anything else that you can recall of this internal corruption for this money grab that comes up every time there's a project.
I wouldn't say every time there's a project, but when the opportunity arises, corruption runs amok. As the few instances I have brought up, it's not only an opportunity to make money off of the acquisition of land for fiscal improvement projects, it is the unchecked power these commissioners have to spend taxpayers' money doing, and I quote from my superiors, favors for their affluent friends who have helped them get their commissionerships and helped them do things that shouldn't be done. Now, I have people I used to go to church with that lobbied to get Karen Seals made a commissioner. Very honest, God-fearing people, not knowing they were helping put another crook in the mix. Now, if one commissioner is doing this, and the county administrator, I made aware of what was going on at doing it, do you think all the other commissioners are not involved in the same type of thing? And that's why it was so important for them to destroy me, because this went right down the line from Karen Seals to Keith Wicks, the Director of Public Works, through my department head Charles Norwood, through his second in command Charles Gibson. All these people will be exposed if any of them are. So they close ranks very carefully. They don't want any of this to come to the surface because they're all guilty. And they know that the whole thing, it's a house of cards. You pull out one card, they all have to tumble because they're all involved in it. Now, some of these people may not have made direct funds from these things, but they didn't stop it either. But they know when their turn comes, they get a little closer to the top, they're going to be the ones that get to pick the apples from the top of the tree.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you mind if I ask what church? You mentioned a church.
I had become affiliated with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints through neighbors of mine. And some of these neighbors had told me when I told them what was going on and the one illegal job that I was involved in that I brought to the attention of Stephen Spratt, who ironically is no longer the county administrator because of the little corruption issue they had caught on the $250,000 over Jim Smith's land deal. But they had told me they had lobbied for her to become a commissioner, and were appalled to find out that was the type of person she was, that, you know, I had done this illegal survey job and the highway department put in this pipe for her friends that owned that property that was being built on.
And what was the name of the name of the people? They owned what, a business?
They owned Jable Circuit, I was told. And the house being built on that large lot off McMullen Booth Road was a very expensive lot. The house was $1 million house. So they undoubtedly had a lot of money. Now, I don't know the people's names, but my superiors told me it was Karen Seals' friends, the owners of Jable Circuit. I don't know how many people own that particular business here in Pinellas County, but it is a rather large company. They have a